All right, what up, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to the Go Rush Weekly Watch List. This is our first weekly watch list that we do inside the server itself, so bear with me if we do encounter any issues. Real quick, if this is your first time, watching this video on YouTube or wherever you might be, we host a weekly watch list every Sunday. Typically, obviously today's a holiday, so we're doing it on President's Day. At this time, we're hosting a free 1 week trial of our server. If you visit goldrushgang.net, you can go ahead and click join us, and we have our prices there. But you can scroll down if you want, click the free 7-day pass to jump in and tap in with us. So every week, I guess I'll just start with ES to kind of see where that is. I know that the futures market has just opened, and as T Money posted in the server, we're gonna have some bad news with the Russia invasion of Ukraine. It looks like they finally actually came through and pulled up into the territory. So it's not looking good for anybody's calls that we might have been swinging. Now the market just opened, and I have my 30-minute chart. It just opened. It gapped down. It kind of tapped 42.57. Let me go to a smaller time frame. Let's do 5-minute. So the market opened up just a few minutes ago, about 12 minutes ago, and it opened up a lot lower, right? It opened up. Let's see, about 23 points lower, or half a point lower. So yeah, I mean, and I see my JayKat posted that futures open below a key support line. So that's something to keep in mind. Now let's make sure to keep the chat inside of the watch list, so you guys we can follow along in the watch list channel. Just put here. Weekly watch list chat here. Okay. So I mean, I'm seeing obviously we have a lower open. Let's zoom out and see if we can find an area see what kind of happens around this area in the past. So just looking over, and maybe I'll do the weekly so it's a little bit easier for us to see. On the weekly time frame, we can see that the area that we're at now has served as a support a couple of times. So see if I can just get it right there. Okay. I'm just gonna put my price level, and I'm gonna bring it to where our current price is, right around here. So I mean, it is a key area. Just looking across the screen over from the left to right. Obviously, we didn't tap it. We didn't tap it yet until we got to this week, the week of June 14th. We found resistance here, and then 2 weeks later we found support here, and then we retested the support on July the 19th, the week of the 19th of July, before we kind of made an upside move, got a little choppy, came back down and tested this area, back tested it, found support. Not so much on this week, but definitely on these 2 weeks, and then from there we kind of moved our way up and did whatever. Let me go ahead and close I have a couple of apps running here.
SWV right, cool. Audio capture not registered.
So now we're back at this level. We bounced at this level a couple of weeks ago, on the week of the 24th of January. And so we've been in this kind of choppy range ever since. Now, looking at it on the weekly, this looks like a very clear H pattern, which is very bearish. Or obviously, some of you might see the bear flag, right, with the flagpole being starting up here, all-time high, and then running down, and then kind of flagging here, and now breaking the flag. So I do see. I mean, obviously, with the news is just a clear catalyst for more downside, right? So just looking over to chart some levels on this, I would say there's some sort of support down here at this level, and then I would say that there's some support kind of at this previous resistance level here. So let me switch it over to the daily so we can see, and let me do something so it'll be a little clearer. Let's see. Get rid of that. go to the daily to see what the daily looks like, because I want to see exactly how many taps occurred along these lines. So along this top line where we're currently started at, and we found a little bit of support, in this past 15 minutes of trading, we've been here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 days in the past. So this is a very, very clear area where we kind of have bounced. And obviously with all the bad news with the Fed taper and the rate hikes and a little bit of COVID in the past, not so much. You don't hear too much about COVID nowadays. But now, Russia being a good catalyst for this to kind of break through. Obviously, I'm very bullish on the market. I hope the market can work its way back up.
SWB
there's no
audio
reason
capture,
to be bullish
not
when
registered.
this thing is telling us there's more downside pain, just based on the charts. And again, like T said, it kind of makes no sense to look at the charts now because the catalyst is going to be stronger than any chart will be at the moment. But just to chart our key levels, we have this first level that tested and looks like it's holding, and we have this kind of next level here at 4328.6, which looks like it might be a key area to bounce. If we don't get a bounce there, then we might get a bounce here at this level at 4187. So we got a lot of downside to cover before we can think about making some upside. Right now, the 21 just crossed over the 200 to the downside. My 21 is my white line over here. And let me zoom into it so it's a little clearer. My 21 just crossed through my 50 a couple days ago, or a couple of weeks ago rather, and crossed through my 21 on Wednesday. So this is a very bearish signal. Obviously it's not a death cross where we get the 50 cross to the downside, but the 50 is pointing down. So obviously right now the market's telling us that everything should be bearish. So let's just keep that in mind. If you're considering playing calls, then obviously keep it fast, keep it short. Don't try to hold and swing. It's not an environment to swing right now, as you can see. So just keep that in mind. Let's look at NASDAQ futures. NQ. Pretty much the same chart. NQ actually. So NQ's much weaker than a lot of the tech names. The reason I say that is because I'm looking at NQ relative to the 200 simple moving average. This green line right here. We've crossed it a long time ago back here. We crossed it to the downside over here on the 20th of January, which might have been GameStop's anniversary, funny enough. And then we kind of bounced, came back, tested this line tested it as a kind of a ceiling, and then came back, tested it once more and fell. Right. So I see kind of a, there's not much of a left shoulder, but there's kind of a head with a lower high, and then with kind of a shoulder over here. So this is very bearish. We're underneath all the major moving averages, including the 9 EMA, 21 EMA, 21 SMA, the 50 and the 200. And the 50 is about to cross the 200. It looks like 3 or 4 more days, depending on how big this next couple of days candle is. Is this today's candle? Let me just see. Yeah. So, we were finding some support down here at these levels, but again, the catalyst isn't there for this to continue to try to bounce. So, and obviously futures just opened. This chart could be meaningless in the next, hour, 2-3 hours, and definitely by market open is going to be meaningless, right? So let's keep that in mind. I'm going to get into my quick picks. I have like just three or four, and then maybe we can just get into some of your guys' requests. So, and I would love Jay and S's interpretation of the markets at some point. Not now, but at some point. All right. So the first one on my list is Snow. Snow was on the watch list as of last week when S was talking about it. He did mention. So now he noticed, and a lot of the market kind of noticed this. If you look over here to the left hand side, there's kind of a shoulder here, and then a head here, and then there was a potential shoulder over here when we were watching it on Thursday. But what I noticed with it is zoomed out. I didn't see this inverse head and shoulder here forming over here, but what I saw was kind of a really ugly kind of head and shoulders with a high here, a higher high here, and now lower highs obviously, but with the attempt here at a rejection at this level, the same level, right? And then on Thursday we flushed through the 200 simple moving average, and we had this little gap here that needed to be filled. So that's what happened on Friday. It flushed through. It looks like it opened and then tried to test the 200 and then just rejected and flushed right through the gap, flushed right through the 21 simple moving average, which is this white line right here. And you know, it went through some of our targets. I know S played it and made some money. I hope that a couple of us have also played it and made some money. So all right, so with Snow, the next price target that I have for Snow is obviously a break of the low of day. Puts us down, and I mean I didn't even edit this, right? This is from Thursday, so I'm just gonna continue to keep the same levels. The next level that I have is 262 and 254. Let me just look at my notes, make sure I'm not missing anything. With this, we have a death cross occurring, hopefully even sooner, right? With NASDAQ and with SPY or ES rather, I'm looking for it like later in the week. But with Snow, we might get it like in the next 2 days, right? Maybe on Tuesday, depending on how drastic this candle is. You know, the 50, which is this red line, maybe Wednesday, will touch the 200 right there, right? So I'm looking for that death cross. We might get a short-term bounce from where we closed back to test this 21-day SMA, this white line right here. So we might get a candle that kind of, you know, a few candles that kind of open up and try to tap this level and see if they can reclaim the 21. And if we reclaim the 21, then you got the upside targets over here. Obviously, the 200 is going to be very tough. And, you know, the 50, if we make it to it, the 50 is going to be very tough. But we got these kind of upside targets. But I think that what's going to happen is we're going to get this back test of the 21, and then we're going to work our way back down, forming kind of an H pattern or a bear flag pattern, depending on how you see it. So I'll be looking for the breakdown of this level here and moving down from there. Now, in terms of the chains, I have, and this might be a little small for you guys to see, so I apologize if that's the case. But I have a 260 put and a 240 put that I'll be watching. The 260s are a bit expensive, so maybe
not registered.
And then really depending on the move, right? Like if we get that bounce, back to the test of 21, then it's possible that this is obviously going to get much cheaper, and so I'll be watching it. It has 2,370 in volume traded on Friday, and 334 open interest from Friday's open. So I'll be interested to see, and pardon all the noise in the background, guys. I'll be interested to see what the OI looks like for this tomorrow. So I took notes. I wrote it down on my Notion app over here. And the next one I'll be watching, maybe for entry tomorrow, will be the the 240s. The 240s, which have a decent spread, a 50-point spread, zero volume in OI, very very little, and you guys know that's a rare thing for me. I usually like lots of volume and open interest on my plays, but I think that there's this has a potential to make a big crazy move. 240s it's like, looking at it, it's just a few candlesticks away if we get that that bearish catalyst plus some cyber attacks. Anything can really push this down quite fast. So I'll be watching the 260 and the 240s. Obviously the 250s are pretty good too. 250 has decent spread, $30 spread, 1100 in volume versus 540 in open interest. So that's a good one to kind of watch if you want to go a little bit closer to the money than the 240s. All right, so the next one I have, and I'll go through these as quickly as possible. The next one that I have is MU. So we made some money on MU last week. If you guys played it with us, we kind of caught a little bit of this move and a lot of this move, right? So so congrats if you guys made money.
SWB audio
so right now what I'm
capture,
seeing on
not
MU
registered.
is kind of a cup and handle. So you can see the cup start to form from here, from kind of this area here, and we bounced. We came and tested the 200 day, and then worked our way back up. And now we're rejecting around the previous level. We came back into this kind of range over here, this box. We rejected, and now we're kind of forming a handle. You can see that there's some buyers here based on this buying pressure here on this wick of this candlestick. Now, I think they had earnings. When did they report earnings? Somebody put it in the chat, or just jump on a mic and let me know. I think they reported earnings maybe on Friday. If I recall correctly, and so the catalyst is there. I'm not sure how they reported. I'm looking at the chat, and let's see. Yeah, I don't know when they reported, so who knows? I gotta check. I can't just let that go unanswered. Let's see. see. Okay, so so it looks like they am I bugging? Oh, it was I don't know. It says the next earnings, it says March 30th. So that means that the last earnings would have been in December. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I feel like it was recent. All right, well anyway, I mean, let me just look at the chart real quick cuz I'm very confused. Okay, so the next earnings is here. So it was I think NVDA. Was it NVIDIA? Yeah, it was NVIDIA. So we were looking for MU to move with NVIDIA as a catalyst. It was something like that. I don't know why. I don't know what it was. Anyway, I'm not sure what it was. I'm not quite sure what it was. But looking at the chart, we got the cup and handle on the daily, which is pretty textbook. And then if we look at, so the only thing is we got that cup and handle, but if we look into the smaller time frames. Right, we're in the 30-minute now,
audio capture,
and we have kind of a shoulder
registered.
that formed over here, and now we got this higher high with the head, higher highs and higher lows, right? A whole new box, and then we broke down the box, and now we're in this area where we're kind of testing the 9 EMA, kind of testing the 21 EMA on a 30-minute. If we look at the daily real quick, and I'll go back to my 30-minute, but if we look at the daily, we look at that last candle. That last candle closed right at the 9 EMA. This gold line is my 9 EMA. So I'll be watching for that to kind of serve as a support level, kind of this level right here at 91. If we get that support at 91, then or I mean, based on the news, we might open kind of low, maybe down here or so, right, around the 21 day. Then we can, if we get the bounce, then I'm looking for it to form another shoulder. If we don't get the bounce, if NASDAQ opens weak and stays weak, which looks like it might, I mean, then this is a 50-day simple moving average, and this is a 21-day simple moving average. And we're going to probably open down here, so now we're going to look at critical support levels for the past, right? I don't think there's any reason for us to, with this news, I mean, this news messes everything up. But let's see. I'm going to put a price level here at the 50. I'm going to put a price level here at the 21. I have a level. Okay. I have a level right here. I'm not on Zoom, man. I'm not on Zoom. I'm on Discord. She told me to turn on crisp. I don't know if you guys can hear the all the noise in the background. Let me get a 1 in the chat. If you can't hear it, then cool. Let's see. I have another kind of key support level, key level over here. I mean, these are downside levels, guys. I'm expecting it to kind of open based on what's going on. I would love for it to hold the 9, or the 50, but I'm expecting it to kind of open in this range down here between $85.59 and $80. Now, if we get that open, then I'll go ahead and I can update this at the open and stuff and see kind of where it is. But I would look for some even a open down here with a move up, right? I don't expect it to totally move down. It depends on what NASDAQ does, so let's just keep that in mind. Let's see. Expecting a bounce. Okay, so these I mean, the chains that I was looking at that I was interested in for this are the weekly 94 call and 95 call. The 94 call has 1,565 in volume traded on Friday and 725 open interest as of Friday morning. It has a 10-cent spread between the bid and the ask at $1.05 and $1.15. The weekly 95 is it has 2,600 in volume traded on Friday's price action and 2,500 in open interest. So those are the ones that I'll be interested in. The 95 call has a 3-cent spread, so that's super tight, very liquid chain. Based on this open, I don't think that these will be in play. So, I mean, and we can't gauge what these what these contracts are going to look like in the morning. Maybe the 90 and the 91 will look a little bit better tomorrow morning. It really depends on where we open. As you can see, there was a bunch of puts traded, and a bunch of people made money. The puts moved up to 177%. 100%, 147, 50% even if you took the 81 put. So, we really got to watch the open. This news is going to kill the market.
Capture,
kill the thesis for the market right now, right? All we can do is hope that one of these levels kind of catches it. So let's keep that in mind for MU. The next one that I have is MRO. MRO might be, so MRO is one of the bigger tickers in XLE. So actually, let's do XLE first because XLE is next. So let's do XLE first. So XLE charted as of last week, kind of held above the put zone. Didn't really enter, like it was still trading within this kind of box, right? You see this high and kind of this low. It kind of held that box until Tuesday when it opened low, but then gapped up. So it didn't give us a puts, the put play necessarily. It reversed in direction, right? So I personally didn't take a play. It's still kind of within a box, but it's forming higher lows within that box. It's right in the 21 SMA, this white line right here. It's still below the 9 EMA, so that's going to be a little tight. What I like about XLE is, let me just make sure. Let me look at my notes. Right now, it's back testing the 21, which has been a known bounce spot for XLE for quite some time, actually since the beginning of this year. Let's see. So this is 2021, right here. This is all 2021. So we kind of opened underneath the 21-day moving average and then gapped up above it the very next day. Or sorry, no, this is 2021 here. This is the first trading day of 2021, January 3rd. And we opened up and we gapped way above the 21 and we kind of ran a little bit, pulled back, opened way down here below the 21 SMA, the 9, opened up way below all the moving averages after OPEX, this is OPEX, right, these red lines. And then we kind of came back and tested the 21, bounced from there, did a bunch of bullish stuff, and now we're back, right? We bounced on it on this day,
SWV
sold
audio
off
capture,
the last couple of days,
registered.
and now we're back at it. Friday, we kind of bounced and worked our way up a little bit. So right now, there looks like there's a downtrend resistance line, a falling resistance. Let me go into the smaller time frame so we can see a little bit more clearly. We got this high with a higher high, and then we have this kind of area that's been holding the top of this red box, really has been holding as support. Even on this day where we kind of opened and then kind of worked our way back to the top of this line, right? So we have the 21 SMA, which is this jagged white line right here, and then we have this downtrend resistance line here. So I'll be interested to see where they are tomorrow. Now, I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, and Tony T posted something about it earlier, but so there's hedges, right? So there's certain things that move with news and with the markets, right? So like XLE is energy, and with everything that's going on in Europe right now, before the Russia and Ukraine situation, there was kind of an energy squeeze going on in Europe, where energy prices are going up, your gas prices are going up, my Con Edison bill is going up. Actually, my wife's Con Edison bill, because she pays that shit. So I gotta make sure I'm using one screen at a time sometimes, but it's been going up for no reason. And they actually put out a notice to all of their clients saying that it's not their fault why the prices are so high. It's due to the price of energy, period. The acquisition of energy, the production of energy, the maintenance of energy, etc. All that shit is costing them a lot of money. So I think that's going to be kind of independent of whatever's going on with Ukraine and Russia, if not worsened, right? Because now a lot of those people, they're going to consume energy in order to continue with their efforts, whatever it is, anything that it is, right? They might put a squeeze on energy and say, all right, we're going to ration, whatever it is, right? I'm not sure.
SWB audio capture,
I'm thinking that
not registered.
It's going to be bullish for energy. And let me just say one thing. Obviously, that Ukraine shit is bad news. Russia's everything, Ukraine, NATO, Russia, US, all that whole shit is bad news. And obviously we wish for it to not occur. But our job is to make money in the market. That's our only, as we're trading, our only job is to make money in the market. Obviously if I can go and talk to Putin myself and be like, yo, bro, chill out, and he'll listen to me, then I'll do that. But that's never gonna happen, right? So my job is to help myself, help my family, help my community, anybody who will take an audience with me to make money, so that when you make money, you can then kind of make some better choices in your life, right, and improve your life, right. So we might not be helping the world, but we're helping ourselves, and hopefully you're doing the right thing with the money you make and all things like that, and not being greedy and being a good humanitarian. So that being said, I'll just jump off the topic. I think XLE break this falling triangle here. This falling resistance line, bouncing off the 21, maybe one more test of the 21. If we open above the 21, right? Because it depends on what this is going to be a dicey move, dicey open tomorrow. Open above that, break this line, and then we have all these pivots, right? We have this very strong pivot right here at 68.18. We have another strong pivot over here. There's kind of one over here, but we have another strong one here at 68.85, and then we have this level here where we rejected a bunch at 69.45. So I'll update this with some levels. I gotta take a better look, but I'm looking at the chain. I was looking at the chains earlier, and I noticed that some of these the chains between 68 and 70 are all pretty liquid, right? And then they all had a bunch of volume coming on Friday, right? So I think the best looking chain on this would probably be the 6850s. With 5,500 volume and 2,300 open interest. So I'll be watching that. I mean, that's very cheap as well. And for anybody who, in this environment, anybody who's unaware, I'm looking at weeklies. I usually like to swing and play, March and April, May, like play some time, and max out returns. But with all the news and really with the market, how it's been working out for us, the safest play right now is to kind of just, day trade, maybe swing overnight, but even swinging overnight is very risky. So that's why I'm focused primarily on weeklies. So I'll be looking at the 6850. I have 5,500 with 2,300 in OI, very tight spread, 11-cent spread. Obviously it could get tighter, but not so bad. The next one I'll be looking at is the 70s. The 70 has an 8-cent spread. It has 8,000 in open interest from Friday's open, and 3,400 contracts were traded on Friday. So the only other thing I'm interested in is actually this 65p has a very tight spread, a 6-cent spread between 35 and 41, with 11,000 in volume and 11,000 in open interest on Friday. So I'll be interested to kind of see what that looks like in the morning. Let me actually take note of that. Where we at? Hold on. That's 65. Just gonna copy this so I can put it directly in my Notion app. Okay, we're watching those tomorrow. I want to see how these numbers shake out in the morning. It's always good to kind of look at open interest in the morning to see if these are plays that have just been opened, or what the case is with them. So the last one that I have on my list is Boeing. So let's look at Boeing on a daily. So we talked a lot about Boeing last week.
SWB audio capture not registered.
For a big move, whether upside or downside. Now, if you look at Boeing, and I'm going to go back to the weekly, for anyone who missed the analysis in the, I don't know when the analysis was. I forget, man. These days kind of all blur together. But we traded within this channel. This is a weekly time frame, by the way. We traded within a channel, a down channel before the COVID lows. We kind of dropped, fell out of that channel, came and worked our way into a new channel, gapped up, new channel, big gap up move, kind of a channel / falling wedge into the 21 SMA here on the weekly, right? So do some math and you'll get, it might be like 100 SMA or something. I'm not sure what it works out to be, but obviously there was some support over here. It kind of worked its way up, nice uptrend move with big exhaustion candle on this week. And then now we're back in this kind of falling channel. And I mean, it makes its highs, it makes its lows, highs, low. And this thing is just a very clean, it just loves this channel, right? So let's go into the daily real quick. So looking at the daily, we have a clear view at the channel. Now, let's see. Again, my 50 is, my red is my 50, simple moving average. My 21 is my white line here. This is a 4-hour. I'm like, why is it jagged? This is a 4-hour. Let's go to daily. All right, so now we tested the top of this kind of falling level here. So we got this line, the falling resistance line, along with the 200 SMA acting as resistance. Now it looks like it was like 4 days of kind of indecision before we gapped on this previous OPEX. Hold on. Apparently it's Armageddon outside in Brooklyn.
Not registered.
Alright, so we tested that falling resistance here. You know, tested the falling resistance, kind of thought about what we're gonna do for a few days here as we were at the 200, as we were at that falling resistance, and then we kind of gapped down on OPEX. OPEX is always a good catalyst for things to move kind of down, right? This was November OPEX, monthly OPEX. And then we kind of worked our way down to the bottom of the channel, tested, bounced, and now we're back at the top over here in the 18th of January or so. And same thing, we were at that kind of level of falling resistance. I mean, it's not perfect. You know, I just kind of drew it to give you the shape to make it a little bit more clear, but we're kind of at the area where we like to sell off, and we also have the 200-day moving average there to act as a resistance level, right? So same thing happened. We kind of made a nice move. I know some people made money on this move, but because I think we were in some plays that I think we called on this day, and then we made money and we kind of sold off on this day. I think I took 30% off a swing. It was a March play, so it was good. And then it kind of flushed and just fell all the way back down to the bottom of the channel, right? So imagine just riding puts from this top all the way down to this bottom over here. And now we're kind of back at the top of the channel. We tested the 200-day again. Like, this is very textbook. The only thing is you don't know if it's gonna, just because it's done it 1,000 times in the past doesn't mean it's gonna do it again. So you gotta just be, you know, quite careful. The only difference now with this, I think, with this ticker is, I mean, we have another kind of look like this, right, on the 18th of November, where we have the 21 and the 5 and the 21, excuse me, the 50 and the 21 kind of on top of each other, right next to each other, very, very close by. And then we kind of fell underneath the 200, right? So what we had was we had to open up here at 225, excuse me, and we closed
SWB audio
at 214,
captured, not registered.
right? So it kind of has the same look to it on Thursday, where we kind of opened up here at 218.58, and the next day, so it took 2 days to fully accomplish the move, but the next day we closed at 209. So between 209 and 218, that's a $10 move, more or less. So what I'll be watching for is some sort of, let me go into the smaller time frames. What I'll be watching for is some sort of reaction to this 21-day moving average, which you see we kind of put some buying pressure, some wicks over here at the 21, around the area of the 21, right? So I'll be looking for this to kind of fall a little bit down, obviously with the open, a little lower, and then do what, right? We have the 21-day right here. We have the 50-day right here. Boeing is a company that, if you don't know, and this is your first, you were born yesterday and you're ready to learn about the market. Boeing is a equipment manufacturer. They make airplanes for all the airlines that we use to travel with. They also make, I think they make satellites, and they make war machines, right? So Boeing might stand, and we discussed this on last week's call, which, if you did not see last week's call, I wonder if I have a YouTube link over here somewhere. Let's see if Gold Rush blessed us with it. I don't think they did. Silly fucking Gold Rush. All right, so we have check it out on our YouTube channel. Just go check it out. And if you're in the server, I'm gonna repost the link in a few minutes. But anyway, we have a few tickers that we discussed last week that all will stand to profit from war, right? Boeing is one of those companies. So we might get the lower open just because the whole market looks like it wants to open much lower.
SWB audio capture,
we might get a green
not registered.
candle on Boeing. You know, it really depends on. I think this is it. Yeah, I'm gonna repost last week's, so you guys can put a set of fresh eyes. A lot of the analysis kind of still intact. I just posted it. I just reposted it in Watchlist. So we might get a lower open. We might gap up a little bit. So let's just keep our eyes on Boeing. I think Boeing is a good one for this week. Technically, it looks like it wants to come down. I mean, really, I want to see what it does at these two levels. So I think that's all that I have. So let's see. So Jay, if you want to jump on, or if not, then I can take, or Fab, if you're ready, then we can go ahead, and if not, we can go ahead and take some requests.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple things to say. First of all, what's up, guys? Happy Monday. Here. I don't have any charts to look at. I just kind of wanted to talk about what tomorrow and the next few days might look like, assuming that we're, now knee deep into this bear market and into what we've got going on with Russia. So I'm in T's camp in the sense of charts are not going to mean shit right now. Mm-hmm. Anything that you thought was on support is not on support. Anything you thought that was going to look bullish, that had a good chance to look bullish, it's not bullish anymore. So, anything that you have that you think is going to hit support and bounce, it may bounce, but I wouldn't expect a big one. So
SWB audio
bear market
capture,
trading is
not
fast
registered.
and furious, and catalyst bear market trading, things like war or the threat of war, things like a pandemic, things like a mortgage crisis. I mean, I've seen all of these. I've been through all of these, and they are fast. They're furious in every direction. It's typically you're going to see a shitload of down move quickly, 30, 40, 100 points, depending on what you're looking at, within 5, 10, 15 minutes. And then you'll see a huge 25, 50, 75% retracement of that within seconds. And then, boom, another 30, 40, 50 point down move for another 5 minutes. And then another huge run back. So this market, if things go the way they seem to be going as of right now, this is not for the faint of heart, right? If you're looking at anything upside, it's the things that we talked about earlier, energy. I wanted to jump in on your XLE thing. Gazprom, which is the natural gas provider that Russia provides to basically all of Europe for all of their natural gas. Oh no. Europe may not have much natural gas. Germany is their largest customer. The whole fucking country.
That shit is on squeeze, bro, like crazy.
Yeah. So if Germany, who is a part of NATO, who is a major part of NATO, starts talking shit and starts getting uppity, what's the first thing that Putin does? He shuts down Gazprom. What does that do? That jumps energy prices everywhere. You can already see, I think crude's already up. I'm on my phone, because I don't even have charts in front of me because they don't fucking
audio capture.
Crude's up $2 already.
What's the ticker?
CO /CO. And then that's just crude futures.
Yeah.
And then if we want to look at nat gas futures /NG, I haven't looked at these, but I bet they're up a lot. 37 cents, which doesn't sound like a big move, but that's a big move in natural gas. Mm-hmm. So, I just want you guys to be aware, if the market already was moving too quickly for you over the past couple months, it's going to get more extreme. And there is our job as traders, like Huey was saying. He was saying it in the sense of, it's really shitty to profit off war, but we're here to trade money, to make money off of whatever direction the market gives us. The flip side of that is, if you're not used to it, if it was already moving too fast, your secondary job as a trader is really, in my opinion, is only, it's 1A, 1B, or 1A and one capital A and one little a, is to preserve your capital, to make sure that you have money to trade tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now. So there's no gold star you're going to get for trading through something you're uncomfortable with trading. You're not going to get a pat on the back from anybody. If it's moving fast, if it's a little much, if it's more than you're used to, sit it out. Just sit it out. Start looking at things for your long-term port, because everything's going on sale, at least tomorrow, and probably Tuesday and Wednesday. So study how these markets work, because not only do we have the threat of war, we also have
SWB audio capture
a
not
Fed that's trying to
registered.
stop hyperinflation. And it's not just to bring like the whole macro view of what's going on here. It's not just cost of goods that we purchase going up. It's lifestyles start to change, because now people that seemed wealthy and seem to have enough money, they are now starting to pull back on what they buy. So if upper middle class, upper class, if they start feeling the pinch, then companies start feeling pinches. It's a very big domino effect of how this all works. And I think DYT had posted something in the chat about how, like, buy the invasion. That has worked the past 4 or 5 skirmishes that we've been in. But please be aware, those were only skirmishes. Now we are looking at a fully nuclear capability country that we've already got very bad relations with. So, I don't want to be all doom and gloom, and everybody can call me Bearcat, but I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of how we need to start looking at the market right now, right? So we've got that. Secondly, all of those skirmishes, we were already in a recession. And basically, this is the shitty thing about how a lot of some of these Gulf wars and the Afghanistan war, Vietnam war, we use those as economic boons. We didn't have inflationary issues like we did now. We didn't have a pandemic that we were coming out of that we do now. We don't already see supply chain issues. We didn't already see huge supply chain issues just to get basic goods and services, or basic goods sent out. So,
SWB
do I
audio
think that
capture
this is a
not
buying
registered.
opportunity because it's going to, for us to come out, when we come out of this, assuming that it's just a skirmish? Yeah, I think it's, it'll be another one of those quote unquote generational buying opportunities. But I think there's way more behind the scenes that's going on, that this won't be we go and invade. What's today? The 20th or whatever. We go invade on March 1st, or we send troops in on March 1st. Like, oh well, that's the day to buy the bottom. It's not. It's not. This isn't financial advice. This is only my opinion. But there's so much more underneath the hood on this that, yes, this is going to be in my opinion, again, this is going to be a financial boon to our economy coming out of it. But I don't think we're going to see that big turnaround like on the chart that DYT had posted earlier about, well, the day we buy is the bottom, or the day we invade, or the day we send troops is the bottom. I think that may be the start of the bottom, unless it turns into something that I don't really want to talk about, because that will be heinous for all of us. But that could be the start of the bottom, but I don't think that's the time where it's, we're going to see that V-shaped move. But since this is the weekly watch list, all I wanted to stress and emphasize is, don't expect things to bounce. If you're going to play the bounces, don't expect it to last very long. And whether that's basically, I'm not necessarily talking about last very long and how much you may make, because I said, the bounces can be enormous, and if you can time those, you can make a shitload of money. But in but in literal
SWB
time.
audio
Like these
capture
bounces are going
not
to last
registered.
minutes to seconds, and then we're going to start seeing drops. And this is all assuming that it's going to be all fucking bloody the moment we open, in the morning. I mean, our futures already look terrible, so I have no reason to think that they're going to look any better by the time we wake up, unless Putin and Biden hug it out and we all can see it, and like a spit shake handshake, that everything's good. But that's it. I just want everybody to really just keep your head on a swivel. If it's moving too fast, and just don't feel like you have to trade through it. Don't feel like you have to take advantage of it, because yes, it's some people, some of us, not necessarily me, because I've lost a shitload of money trying to trade markets like this, but some people will make a lot of money. But that doesn't matter to you. We're all on our own journey through this, and you're going to be on your own journey through this, so don't get fucking frustrated with the FOMO of people making a lot of money if this market moves the way I think it's going to over the next few days. Just study up, make sure you can recognize what's happening and how it happened, and then the next time it happens, because there will be a next time. I mean, this is twice, possibly in 2 years, that we're going to have catastrophic events. And the time before that was 2020. It was like 2016, I believe. We had a huge move down. 2008, which is the mortgage crisis before that, we had a huge move down. And if you just go back to like when we have these huge quote unquote black swan events, like they're called black swans because they don't happen very often. But now we're starting to see these black swan events happening closer and
not
closer
registered
in time. So this could be our new normal. So now's the time to study up on how does a market move when it's moving to an extreme level in one way or the other. So next time we have this, you guys will be prepared. And we're going to be here to talk you through the whole fucking thing. And that's all I got.
A word by JayKat. That was great. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, shit. I don't have anything to add to that. What I do want to ask is, do you know the ticker symbol for gold futures?
GC. It's up 50, or it was up 50, now it's up 12. Oh, and just to, if you go through the calls I made over the last week, that was anything that wasn't a lotto, gold calls, SPY puts. And then there were other puts that I was looking to swing, simply because I would have taken puts on these. I think it was Netflix puts and something else. I don't really remember. I would have taken puts on those no matter what type of market we were in, because those were setting up to the downside. So if you've got anything that's setting up to the downside in your head, just watch those. Because we are looking to get a lot of downside over the next few days, weeks. So if you had something that you were eyeing up to the downside, those are the ones that you probably are going to want to focus, because you've already done your due diligence on those. But if tomorrow stacks up to how it looks like it's already, like it's going to be a free for all, and you got to be quick on the trigger with everything you have. And for the love of God, please don't try and bounce anything.
SWB audio capture
GC,
not registered.
Yeah. And I think I saw Gavin post earlier that a bunch of setups, he just sees a bunch of H's forming all over the market. So, like the plays the ones that I looked at on my list, the energy ones are obviously gonna be gonna make us some money, depending on what the next move is for if crude and if natural gas continue the upside move, then those are still in play. I would stay away from tech unless you see something a lovely setup to the downside, especially some of these tickers that kind of ran up 2020 and 2021, because those are the first ones that they're going to take profit on. So if you see those kind of set up, then then that's where we should go. Let's see. I'm actually interested in seeing what some of the big names are doing. Yeah, I mean this Apple. Let's look at the daily.
That was actually my question for you here.
Yeah. What is it?
Oh, just in the fact that I feel like Apple has basically held us up to begin the year because everybody else has been in the shitter. And so if they start selling that down, where do we think, ES, SPX, SPY, where do we think we're headed? About to 390, 400?
Yeah, I mean, shit. Let's look at SPY. Apple's at a kind of a support level here. We cut through this kind of like cheese to the upside, and we're at this level where we bounced. We've bounced kind of. I'm looking over to the left, kind of twice. Once here, and then there are some buyers over here, with this being a clear level of resistance. So this is a clear level here where we are now. We bounced out on Friday. So if this breaks down,
audio capture,
and just like you
registered.
said, Trini, Apple's been holding us up. It's been one of the showing relative strength compared to the rest of the market. So we can just say there's going to be some downside. Like there's going to be some downside, and really, what is it? Is it going to open up kind of where we are here and work its way down? Is it going to work if it's going to open up kind of at this level down here where this gap is, and then from there work its way down? I don't see Apple putting in a green candle at all whatsoever. Again, I might be totally wrong, and things might change within overnight very easily. So, but Apple has a kind of a shorter term H forming. If we look at the 1 hour, right, it has kind of like the short term H forming that will work itself out to be kind of a longer term H. We have this kind of daily H that looks like it might want to come back down and test some of these levels. So if we compare that to SPY, I'm actually going to just pull up SPY on a separate chart. My daughter just got home from her grandparents, so she's going to be making some noise here. If we look at SPY on the right compared to what day was that? The high was on 1/4 right there. So let me just try to put this chart side by side. So I mean, this was kind of the base area of the H down here, and I'm looking on the screen. I'm looking to the screen on the right at the SPY chart. We kind of got that bottom of the line down here, and we're pretty much at that level again, and we'll definitely open down here at these levels, down here at this kind of 40, around this area. I see us just opening within this area down here. Whereas Apple's, if you look over to the other side, and I have my crosshairs synced so you can see kind of where they are at the same time. Apple and SPY were here pretty much at the same time, but Apple clearly carried SPY up. Look at this big gap to the upside, and it kind of held up where SPY was falling. It kind of
SWB audio capture, not registered.
But if we take out this, we take this low out. Now we got all this downside. So I want to measure the move. We got all this downside move to get back to the bottom of the H. That's a 5% move. It's a $10 move to get back to the bottom of the H. And if this is what's going to happen, which it might easily happen depending on how investors, where the money's going to go. If it leaves Apple, it's also going to leave SPY and ES and SPX, and it'll bring us way down, maybe to the bottom of this level here, where we had a bunch of buyers kind of step in. Let me zoom out. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of this chart altogether. And let's look at SPY on the daily on this side. If we break down this is a key level. If you look across, just look at the line across the screen, and you'll see that. Let me draw it. We've been there so many times in the past. So if we, this is a level that if we break down now, we have to look at the previous resistances and support. So we have kind of, and I'll just draw a box so we can kind of see where we can expect to, for there to be some sort of traffic, will probably be something in this level here, from here to here. that might be kind of the next area where we form a range, right? The next range, right? We had these ranges up here. We had this range. We had this range up here, and we had kind of this.
SWB audio capture not registered.
Break through this range and come down to this range. Hello, girl.
I was just gonna give you a quiet sheet though.
I love you. So so this box is gonna be kind of the next crucial area to hold up. Let's see. I'm looking at Gavin's list right now that he posted on Watchlist. Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft looks just like SPY. It gave up its 200. Actually, where's Apple compared to the 200? Yeah, Apple has some room to the 200. So, I mean, there's plenty of downside pain for Apple. Just for it to get back to its 200, right? We got Microsoft, which gave it up on Thursday with it doesn't look like it wants to backtest it at all. So,
and Trini, just to kind of add on to that, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, those haven't really sold off yet. And so if those start to really, the levee starts to break there, like we've just scratched the surface of what we're going to look like, Yeah,
that was literally my what I've seen my point, right? It's because they've just been holding us up, essentially, the big.
Yeah, and it's not that like they've just literally been helping us tread water, like they haven't done anything to like move the needle upwards. Like they've just let us tread water, and those start to give up, then we start to waterfall.
Right. Thanks, Huey.
Yeah, you're welcome.
SWB audio capture not registered.
We got AMD, which is right at its 200. Which AMD has moved massively in the past year. It's made these big, crazy, gappy moves, and so this is kind of sold off a bit. If we measure it from the high to kind of where we are now, it's a 30% sell-off, taking 50 points off the top. So that's a big move. So I mean, I don't expect. I mean, whatever. Who knows? Like, I'm not gonna say that there's not more to sell. Of course, there's gonna be more to sell, and the pattern is very clearly an H, with like there's kind of a head and shoulders there. It's just a very bearish pattern, and it's right at the 200. So it's gonna be a nice target for. And actually, I didn't even realize there's a doji there. We formed a doji right there, so a little bit of indecision at the 200, and there's nothing that's telling me this is gonna bounce. We're below the 9, below the 21, below both 21s, below the 50, and the only thing that's holding us up, bless you, is a little bit of recent support, and the 200. And tomorrow we'll probably, if some tech shows a little bit of strength in the morning, we'll probably gap below this 200, come back to test it, and then continue to work our way down. NVIDIA was one that I kind of had high hopes with based on earnings. But NVIDIA is doing the same thing. I mean, these are all, nothing matters, right? Nothing matters because the news tells us, first of all, the chart long term is very bearish. It's forming an H sitting on top of around the 200. But nothing matters. This fib level is not going to matter. It's going to just, news is going to bring us down. Let's see. Tesla might be the only one that might move a little differently, because Tesla shareholders
SWB audio capture not registered.
I mean, same thing. It's kind of forming an H. It's kind of it's an ugly H. It's still within that range. Break this 200 and break this range. There's a bunch of previous resistance right here, so there'll be a little bit of a drop, and we can break 819, and we can see 795. A 20-point move isn't unheard of for Tesla, but I don't know if Tesla might be a little bit different, so I would probably keep my eye on that. But like Jay said and Gavin said and Trini said, and even DYT just mentioned VXX as a hedge. Just take the downside move, or take things that you know for a fact they're gonna move up. You know, crude oil tickers are moving up, right? Energy tickers moving up, gas is moving up, gold is moving up. You know, maybe Bitcoin decides it wants to make a move. If not, it might be the same thing. It might be part of the sell-off, so people can, you know, take their money and put it into hedges. Gav says, I have Tesla headed to 800 if we go red this week. So, yeah, 800 is a very clear target. Clear psychological number. You know, how Tesla likes its psychological numbers. And looking at the chart, I'm just looking across the 800 line. And just looking at the chart, if you look all the way to the left, there was a bunch of resistance back there. Kind of where that green box is. You know, that looks like the next stop. So just stay nimble. The point of this is like, don't play AMD calls unless AMD's going stupid. Don't play any calls in a bear market. We're in a bear market right now. You know, play your puts, get in and out. If you see 100 and the downside move is always much faster than the upside move. So if you see that downside move and it's happening and you're in the play and you get a bunch of money and you're up 300%, then you better trim everything and leave your runner, because the things can bounce. What happens in these markets is they end up bouncing a lot and taking a lot of dropping a lot of liquidity. So just be careful.
SWB audio captured, not registered.
Let me see. I'm just checking out the chat to see if there's anything. If you guys have any tickers you want to look at, I mean, I think it's kind of a moot point based on everything, right? Let's look at VIX. VIX 50 call. Yeah, the VIX is gonna go. I think the VIX is gonna go. As long as the narrative doesn't change between now and market open, I think the VIX is gonna go pretty nuts. This was COVID. We haven't, or the COVID low of the market, which is the COVID spike of the VIX. 50 calls for March 15th. Yeah. Yeah, bunch of OI. All these are all stacked. This 30 is stacked, right? And the reason why this 30 is stacked is because we've been at 30 a bunch in the past week, past couple of weeks. So let's see. It's funny. The VIX looks like a pump and dump chart. And then let's see, VXX, 30 put for March. For May. Let's see. Just want to see what these chains look like. Yeah. Gavin said, if I play calls this week, it'll only be DWAC. Yeah, they I think their app, Truth Social or Truth Mobile or whatever the hell.
SWB audio captured, not registered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was awesome, Kevin. I think I had to come off mute to hear the actual laugh out loud.
Let's see. I'm looking at a DM real quick. I mean, this thing has been. The chart is really clean. It's been respecting the 9 EMA on a weekly. It looks like. I mean, I don't know if there's gonna be a pullback to it, especially on a weekly. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, this thing is probably gonna explode. I mean, we got. This is one of those tickers that like, I'll play it, and I'll make money on it, but it'll be just full of silently and full of shame. You know what? Hold on. Remove drawing. This is way back here. And then we got this candle. So I didn't go over any of the I didn't go over any of the kind of requests that I asked for this week. But I'm gonna look at a few of them now. So this is Northern Oil and Gas. Let's look at look at the chains. The 20, just looking at the chains, the 25 call and the 25 call looks pretty good with 276 contracts traded on Friday and 3,000 in open interest. The and a 10-cent spread, which is nice.
SWB audio capture not registered.
Over at the chart, it looks like it can see 25 in a few days. Especially with the way that natural gas is gapping up. So, if you like it, you like the levels. It has kind of a downtrend resistance, which I'm gonna draw just for muscle memory, but I'm sure this will be broken by tomorrow, by the open, and then we can just take out the pivots. We can take out the highs. Let me go into a smaller time frame. This is very clear. We might open above most of these, right? We might open above most of these. So, but it's at its 21. It's above its 21, above its 50. It has this more recent and more accurate kind of downtrend line, right? So we have this kind of wedge forming between the 21-day and the falling resistance, and then and the chains are pretty good. I would if you want to play the weeklies, go ahead and look at the 25. You want to play safer, get in this one and just bid. This one's $1.40 to $1.85 between the bid and the ask on the 24 call. I'm watching my daughter just run in and out of the room. I like the 25 a little bit better. I like the spread on it, and I like that it didn't draw down too much. You see down 7.14% on Friday, so that's nice. And then let's see. And then I think we're gonna have some people present their tickers today. Next one is EOG. I don't know what this company is or does. If anybody knows, just let me know real quick. Or I'll look it up on FinViz real quick. EOG Resources.
It's also oil. It's oil related.
SWB audio capture not registered.
And PPR as well.
Yes, ma'am.
I thought that because of the catalyst, and you know how I am, I'm on crack, so I like to play the earnings run up. So I figured those would be good earnings run up tickers with the catalyst and being that they're oil in the oil sector.
This was very, very clean. It's there's a bunch. The only thing is it's underneath the 90 MA, but I think and this has the same look to it as all of the other energy tickers where you have that downtrend break and earnings it looks like I don't know whether it's going to be this day. It looks like the call itself is on the 25th. Oh, so it's like the call is something is pre-market or something is day before, something is day after. So let's see, does it have earnings on this? They just recently got a price upgrade by Truist from and then they got a buy rating, and the price upgraded from 111 to 135, which I'm just looking at FinViz. So yeah, I like the. I don't know. I don't want to say, hey, look into March, because we don't know how long this last is gonna run. How long this run is gonna last. What I would do is play these week by week. If you want a little bit more safety, take an extra week on it. You could take the March 4th expirations if you want, just to kind of have that extra safety built in. But I wouldn't hold it past a week. I wouldn't even really hold it past like a couple of days, to be honest. Unless you buy a bunch and then you just scale out and leave one or two runners to continue the move if you see it continuing. So STB, why don't you share your screen and why don't you give us a little bit of talk us through your analysis.
I can't share my screen.
SWB audio capture not registered.
But yeah.
Which one first?
Well, I only have one. Thank you for presenting EOG and NG. The only thing I'm gonna say about that piggyback, I was playing ZOM like a month out back in January. February 18th was like the chain that was paying me well when I was running the XLE run up. And I was playing both of those, XLE and ZOM. And I like the playing the month out, even though I was scalping. For me, is one, well, the peace of mind, but also they were just moving. Where what I have, and I tell you this story because I think I'm going to do the same thing with PVR. I don't know. I'm going to take a look at it. If you go to the watch list, I posted PVR. I was hoping to get some feedback, so hopefully this is a good.
Yeah. This is a great forum for some feedback. Let's see.
I posted some levels. I was looking at I like the March. I don't have it. Let me look.
I have it. I think I have it here. March 18th, 14 or 15 call.
Yeah, and that have the most volume. Those are the ones that I like the most. But what's interesting, I was going through the change. March 4th, even though there's not a lot of volume, the premiums almost doubled on that chain for the 14th call. So I'll be looking at those. I mean, this is a low ticker. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to move. I'm not used to these type of tickers because I played Tesla and, all these other ones that are higher, move higher. So this is going to be interesting. My goal is to load, lots of contracts and, scale out as soon as I get whatever gains I'm comfortable with. But the idea that, I like the setup. I like that it's, I remember looking at it. It was like since January, it's been riding the 9 on the daily, on the weekly, all the time frames.
SWB audio capture not registered.
Setup, the weekly, monthly. I was doing my research. It's a Brazilian
energy provider. Yep.
Yeah. So the investors like this stock because they pays out a high dividend. The dividend is quarterly, so it's in March. Maybe that's why the chain is so heavy. I don't know. They have earnings Wednesday, I think.
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah. Okay. So get in Monday. If you see, I think I put a puts too. There's 2 triggers. It's sitting right on the daily. Sitting right in between. It could go up 1 trigger, and then I don't think it's going to be bullish with this too bearish for too long. It may test down that first support, and I expect it to go back up. So if not, then, there's a put play. I would only do day trading, a put. But otherwise, on the weekly, I would do the March 4th or the March 18th call.
What's this purple line? Which MA is that?
That's the 20.
The 20, okay.
So it touches it did that a couple of times. It'll drop to the 20 and then it'll just go right back up.
Yeah, this is.
When is the dividend payment?
That's a good question.
Sorry?
When is the dividend payment?
Oh, I don't know, but that's when I stopped doing my research. But it's supposed to be, it yields higher, and it increases. I don't know.
I'm checking Finviz to see if I can find it. TOS usually tells us to. Hold on, let me check TOS. It looks like the div it happened here, and it looks like it's gonna happen.
SWB audio capture not registered.
8/17, 12/2. I mean, it would normally show right on the thing. Let me check.
I believe it's in March because their last one was in December.
Yeah, they likely haven't announced it yet. Let's see if if Robinhood has the information.
Yeah, so I asked it because depending on when that payment date is, it's gonna take a dip.
Yeah.
So if it's in March, just tie that into everything else.
Yeah, I don't see it listed on. Robinhood either. So I mean, they'll announce it. They'll announce it probably during their earnings, which is this week. They'll announce when they're gonna pay out the dividend. They're probably waiting for. The announcement on them increasing their dividend, all this bullish news and all this stuff. But wait, there's more. We have an increased dividend, and then we're gonna pay it on this day, and it's gonna make it. It's probably gonna squeeze a little bit more. So this is a great company. I've made some calls on this a bunch of times with you guys, and I know that some people have. It's a slow mover, but when it pays, it pays. And just like you said, STB, you got to take a pack of contracts on this, and then just scale your way out as it moves. And if you give yourself enough time and you have patience, this thing can touch 300% on some of these plays quite easily. So let me just, you want the feedback, so let me just quickly, I'm going to read through the analysis. So strat bullish on every large time frame, charted 32 bullish reversal strats on the weekly. For those that don't know, strat is basically like the range of one candle, and then the range of the next candle gives you kind of a bullish or bearish setup. If you look at my chart, you see like the little number 1s and 3s. Everything that's not a 1 and 3 is a 2 on my chart. So I use strat and strat is like a clear way to define price targets, upside or downside price targets. So
SWB audio capture, not
respecting the 90
registered.
MA, bouncing off the 20 MA on a daily. So I mean, it's holding the 9, just like you said, holding the 9, respecting that 20. I don't have the 20 on mine, but I'm seeing it on yours. And then the chains are perfect. I mean, this is a good analysis. Good analysis. Good job.
Yeah, this is my first time using, like I'm trying to incorporate your Fibonacci. So I was using the lines, the targets that I'm using are going to be the Fibonacci average true value.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. I like, I mean, even your chart setup is very nice because you have like the very clear triggers, and then you have kind of like, these are like potential targets. So that's very nice. I think this is an upside move coming. The whole sector is going to make the same move. I mean, they all pretty much look the same. They're all going to act the same. The catalyst is there. You know, this one has earnings, so this one kind of has its own catalyst. But I think, I think that even like a really strong earnings report will give this and the rest of the sector a nice push. I would be interested to look at some of the deeper chains, deeper in price and deeper in expiration. And just like Trini said, let's watch out for that for that earnings, that dividend payout day, because it'll take a dip on that day.
Yeah, my goal is to get some, watch for my entry for Monday, and then hold enough to where I could ride it for free through the earnings. I'm not planning on holding it through March.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's a solid plan. And you take the March calls, you use it for a week, and then a couple days, and that's it. And just because it's March, guys, doesn't mean you have to hold it all the way till March. Just like STB said, you could take a March call and play it for a couple days or one day or a few minutes, right? Depending on what it is. It'll help you reach your goal. And these expirations that are a little bit further out give you more time, more safety, right? Not as much data exposure.
SWB audio capture,
I think you guys
not registered.
all on this call are clear of that, but just anybody there in the universe of YouTube universe who's learning for the first time, there's a gem there for you. Let's see. S, you want to jump on, bro? I see he's in here typing, but he's not on the thing, so maybe not. Does anybody have another and STB? Thank you for that. Good analysis. Anybody have any tickers that you want to take a look at real quick? Otherwise, I think we can call it. In the meantime, while you guys think about it, if you're watching this video for the first time, you caught us on our YouTube. This is Gold Rush. This is the Gold Rush gang, Gold Rush Options Trading. We're offering a free 7-day trial. I think I'm gonna have to hit up Gold Rush to update this website, because I think some things are gonna change here soon. But free 7-day trial. If you go to goldrushgang.net, click on Join Us, scroll down to Fun Pass, and you get a 7-day free pass. If anybody's telling you to hold on for swings in this market, then they are taking your money away. The only thing that's, I think, safe to swing at this moment would be energy, gas, energy, oil. Gold looks good, but I don't know how long that hedge is gonna last. Forgive all the noise in the background. We got the Rough Riders out here. So if you guys don't have anything else, then I'll go ahead and we'll cut it here, and I'll post my numbers for some of these tickers in the Watchlist channel. And just to reiterate, too long didn't read version. Energy, gold, oil, gas to the upside, and tech to the downside. And if you
SWB
see
audio
setups that are
capture
set up
not
perfectly
registered.
for puts, then just take the put plays. And that's it, guys. Thank you guys for being with us, for locking in with us. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you, guys.